Here's a video I've been wanting to make for several years now. This is the world's, or I should say, one of the world's largest four-wheel drive salvage yards on the east coast of the United States. It's called COLLIS Trucks. If you're looking especially for Ford and certain vintage parts too, late model Ford, vintage stuff, this is the place. I'm a little rattled. I planned on being a little bit smoother with this video. Uh, this place stretches on for as far as the eye can see. There's trucks here. They go up the mountain here. I'm in a valley here. I'm down in the lower section here, getting some parts for Holly Ann. She's getting her walking papers in the office. So Holly Ann will be hitting the road. Hopefully I'll have that exhaust done soon, so you guys can go for a ride in her in the camera and hear what she sounds like with those shorty cherry bomb mufflers. What rattled me. Three things I hate, and actually two things that I really fear are fire, tornadoes. Things that I hate, don't necessarily fear, are bad cops, crooked cops, bad crooked politicians, and snakes. Now, that is a domestic garden snake. What y'all have to remember about me, as a young guy, yeah, you guys are drunk on the tripod here. I gotta sober you up. Anyway, as a young guy, I crawled through the jungles of Panama. And let me tell you, when you're basically a child off an aircraft carrier and you get your first land station, land duty, it's probably a reason why I still smoke, because there were snakes, creepy crawlers. And one of the stories I tell is about, it was some kind of lizard. It got into our tent, and our tent was basically on pallets that we brought equipment and material, and you'd set your tent up. And anyway, well, there was holes underneath, and a first lieutenant, she outranked me. I had just come back from my shower, just went, I'm sitting in the bunk, and all hell breaks loose. Gunfire, bang, 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 she's screaming. The other guy gets up, he's trying to load his weapon, and it gets caught in the webbing of the tent. Actually, the webbing for the window. Our tents had those fold-up windows on the inside. The end of his service rifle got stuck in the webbing. He blasts a big goddamn hole with 4 or 5 shots right through the webbing of the tent. I'm still trying to figure out what I did with my 45 after my shower. A lot of times when you come back from in the field, you're exhausted. And kids, you don't necessarily have your heads, asses, and brains wired right. When you're first in the military, they tell you about situations. Well, that one woke me up, because it could have been the enemy. It could have been one of the guerrilla operators and stuff. Panama was a real treat, but it woke me up as I was natured a lot different when I came home. My family said that. And then, being of my unusual Pennsylvania Dutch Amish background, I'm like an enigma, because a lot of the farm boys didn't make it off the farm quite like I did, and have a World War I and World War II flying ace for a grandfather and a gunny sergeant for a father. I really didn't have a normal life as a kid. As an adult, I still have strict behaviors. I'm hard on myself as far as expectations, outcome, they call that. But I mean, I don't have low self-esteem. I just have high expectations of myself. And when I fail myself, well, that's where I get upset. And that's, like I said, where that rattled me. I planned on being a little bit smoother, but now I'll take you off. And this place just goes up this mountainside. Where I'm pointing this camera, it just goes up and up and up. It goes all the way over there. Way up. Way up. There's a crusher up there now. He has a dismemberment yard, which I don't agree with. I think outside of stuff that's totally unsalvageable, like some of these beds, they should go. But he keeps stuff around because people have farm trucks and farms around here. There's even campers in here. I'm waiting for Holly Ann's camper shell, which is way down there, where you see that orange cone. There's a cap, and that goes on top of Holly Ann whenever Jake decides to get it off of there. So that concludes my video. Again, this is COLLIS Trucks and they are on Dannersville Road in Seamsville, Northampton, PA. Seamsville, Northampton are the same town. It shows up in the internet under Northampton, Pennsylvania. Collis trucks, four-wheel drive, anything. And it's a little free advertising for Uncle Jake. I love the guy. One of my first trips, by the way, mentioning military, after I came home from my really hard bump, this is one of the first places, this is like coming home to me is what I wanted to say. This is like a home, a way, it soothes me. I think when I die, if they buried me someplace like this, I'd be more comfortable with it than I would anywhere else. So that's really, when you have an uncle or a brother or somebody that's a gearhead, it's in your blood. It's something that you're not going to change or not going to take out of me. But as far as salvage parts and stuff, I've spent a lot of days of my youth in this yard. So it's like I said, it's kind of a sacrilegious thing for me to come here. And that's why I decided, I said one day I'm going to make a video. Now I wasn't feeling good March through just early June there. The warm weather brought me around a little bit. That cold weather, I don't know what happened to me, but I was deathly ill. And I'm still having breathing trouble, but you know what, folks? That's somewhat my fault. But I think I could be in a lot better shape for my age. But I do work 12 and 16-hour days, believe that or not, even at my age. You know, that when I tell people, I make those jokes about snake motor oil and, you know, you put this in the truck and drive it out of any salvage yard. I've been doing this since I'm a kid, and I know what the facts are. And I know when you start one of those engines up and it ingests all that dirt, it ain't no goddamn good. You look like an idiot in those videos when you guys make those videos. Anyway, if I have something that I'm going to salvage or I'm going to covet, I'm going to treat it like, from the day I get it, I'm going to treat it like it's one of my kids. And I do treat my kids well. That's another thing. My son's coming tomorrow. So I have to conclude my video, and I'm anxious to get a license plate on Holly Ann and open that throttle and dump that 4-barrel down. Hopefully, when I make an ass out of myself, it'll be by myself and not on camera. Some guys aren't afraid to do that, like Derek. Derek's got a lot of help behind those scenes and those videos, and like Junkyard Digs, Kevin and them, Vice Grip Garage, Derek. Those guys got a lot of help behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff's more of a planned event. Me, I'm kind of spontaneous. I'll fire it up. But that's why I said you don't play on public roads, and at least you make sure the vehicle's semi-legal, that you have insurance if you do make an F-up, that, you know, the cop is maybe going to work with you. You don't show people that you're a squirrel and go out there and endanger other people. So first thing, I'm going to take it up the street and take it easy with it, and I'm going to see it. It does seem to have some really stiff braking, so I might have to install like a bias valve, a bias braking system, so that'll hold it up from, you know, use. It's more not even so much money sometimes as it is the time to get to do those things. But another thing is taking the time out to do the things you enjoy, like being in this salvage yard. It's one of the things that I enjoyed. And especially, like I said, when I came home, I had legal problems. I got into legal problems where I was living, and then I got a deal from the government to go overseas while they cleaned up the corruption here at home. And that's why I speak out and speak my mind, and I'm not afraid of anybody, because one way or another, a guy like me is going to get you. I have a lot of respect from the people that I did work with. Now, some of them are gone. They passed away, and a lot of guys that I served with, they're in hiding, they're dead, they're in jail. It's a sad thing. Me, I try to stay relevant, and I try to stay honest with people as much as I can. But sometimes that's not possible. People, they have other expectations, and I'm not going to get into that. So I was hoping to be a little more relaxed, but the snake there, I probably lost some of my lines that I want. I should have really had a script, but I didn't. I just figured I would show people this is the biggest place you're going to get any type of parts for any type of vehicle, just about. There's some things like the expeditions and stuff, Jake doesn't want to deal with them because they're crap. There's certain vehicles that are crap, and if you want that crap vehicle, you got to go elsewhere to get crap parts. But anyway, there's trucks here, 20 years old with frames that are like brand new on them, even for the Northeast, because that's another thing that's a real challenge in this area, is finding something that the road salt did not turn to total gaga. And this is one of the places where I go to find that stuff. And a lot of times you're going to pay a premium price for it, just almost like you went down south for it. If not, Jake will find things for folks. So I'm going to conclude my video finally. That's what I had to say. This is like a second home to me.